All right, my people, what's up? Welcome to 22nd, Sunday, 22nd of March, 2026. All right. Let's go through a backtesting session. Okay. So, yesterday's backtesting session, you would see that I was kind of expecting this area to be drawn into, right? But we end up kind of building a consolidating candle on a bearish close. Okay. We had a bearish close. So, what's the next ideal thing? Given that we failed to close above, well, we can expect this draw to be tapped into and maybe this draw. Okay. We have a super consolidating candle here. Okay. And bear in mind, we are in that weekly gap. Okay. We're in a weekly gap. So if we do not reach this area, then we can expect extremely bullish prices. Okay. And we can continue on higher. But for now, I'm looking at the draws, right? So let's actually mark out the weekly gap as well. So that's one. And that's the other one. Okay. So let's just mark that out. And then let's go back into the daily. And let's quickly just write what I said. So let me take my watch off. We had a bearish consolidating candle close. Price failed to close above previous. Oh, fuck the spelling of previous day's candle. Let me just let my dog out real quick. One sec. All right, back. So we had a bearish consolidating candle close. Price failed to close above previous day's candle. What we could expect today is bearishness filling in IRL, right? It could be that Monday is the high of the week or today, given that we sweep Tuesday high, or something along those lines. Okay. I fucking, but I hate how Copilot has an actual button. Like, oh my god, it's so annoying. Anyway, so let's just quickly skip forward into Tuesdays. So there we go. Actually closes. We go from bearish to bullish candle close on NQ. Okay. Either way, that's fine. We don't close above. That's a draw. So let's just quickly go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. What do we have on the 4 hour? Well, we have this bearish candle, which price is consolidating in. And we also have a bearish candle. Okay, so we have some discrepancies. Okay, we have a discrepancy between them. We have a 4-hour gap here, intermediate time low. Let me actually mark this out as well. So let's just say price is currently lingering in a 4-hour bullish gap. We have a recent bearish gap on ES, which is a point of interest. Okay, I want to see either displacement through this bullish gap lower or a respect of this bearish gap. Okay, if we get none, then we can expect higher prices reaching into recent high. Okay. Sorry, my voice is bad. Okay. Let's just skip 2 hours to get into London. See what the hourly is doing. We can see on the hourly we are breaking down. Okay. We get a change in state. This is that 4-hour gap. Okay. Baby, I'm praying on you tonight. Bearish gap. Bearish gap. Okay, so let's just say the hourly doesn't really show anything more of it, just what is breaking down. 1 hour shows price breaking down. We have a couple bearish gaps in that displacement leg lower. We also displace through a swing low, forming time frame market structure shift. Okay, can we see here? On ES, we have a market structure shift. Nothing of that sort when it comes to thingy yet. Okay, but that's completely fine. So what I'm going to do is let's actually just go back in and reduce the noise. So I want to get rid of this. I also want to get rid of this. Okay. I think do that. Yeah, just to correct up the things because it's just fucking with my. It's just messing with me. I don't like it. Okay, we look to be consolidating a little bit. Okay, so let's do midnight. And then let's do midnight again. So what do we see happen? Well, midnight OP, midnight OP, opening price. We see price moving higher before breaking down lower. Possible Judas swing acting as an intermediate time high. Okay. We look to be consolidating for now on the 50-minute. Okay, and now let's have a look at what London does. So let's get our little tool out. There we go. London. London. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. All right. Let's have a look at this. Okay. So we kind of play within the range. You see, we're still in the range. So let's just mark that out real quick. So London session still plays out within the consolidating range. Therefore, nothing of importance yet. Okay, let's go back into the higher time frames and see if we can actually spot anything a little bit clearer. So we are still okay. We're in the four-hour gap, and we actually do close a little bit lower. So let's just mark that out. So price steps into that 4-hour bearish gap one more time during London on yes, and we can see a bearish candle. Okay. Important part really here is to get a further breakdown. So you see how we wick through these highs? Wick through these highs as well. I think I'm quite interested in seeing a change in state of delivery more than anything right now. So this is the 6 a.m. Let's go back out. So we do actually move out lower. Okay, we've moved out lower. We've not closed out of the gap just yet though. So candle close on 4-hour looks to be out of the bearish gap, highlighting possible bearish section. Okay. Let's go back onto the hourly. It's not entirely clear, right? We look to just still be in the range, right? So let's just mark that out again. So even though that's happened, it still looks like we are consolidating. Okay. So let's just kind of go on the 15-minute and just continue to skip through and see what's going on with price. Okay. And this is quite an important draw, so we'll mark that on sell side. We see relative like insanely equal lows. We'll mark out London highs as well. Do that. Do that. drag this hourly gap on. Okay. All right. Just kind of see what price does. We're still playing in the range. You can literally see very clearly that we are still playing in the range. Now, when it comes to something like this, what am I looking at? Well, I kind of want to see if we sweep these lows, we could target internal liquidity higher here, right? So let me just kind of, let's get like the leg, placement leg. So from here to here. Okay, and what gap do we have that's in that level? Look at this perfect gap, okay? I'm actually gonna mark this out because that is very, very suspicious, right? You see that? Let's do the same thing on here. So there we go. Once again, we have that gap, right? Bang, mark that out. Yeah, so I'm actually gonna just quickly put a comment on this. So given this displacement leg lower, we can either see a retracement back into this area and take a long, given there is a sweep of the consolidation range, SSL, or we can see price manipulating up here, taking out consolidating muscle liquidity, okay, and distributing lower for the rest of the day, targeting higher time frame internal liquidity. Okay, so there's two kind of thought processes going on right now. So what am I thinking? What could we do? Well, let me just draw it out. So market opens, we can have something like this happen, okay, or even into previous day's low. Why did it just move? What the fuck? Okay, let me just do this again. So we can have price either come down into here, right? And then we move up higher, okay, coming into this area before we then continue to distribute lower, okay? Or what we could see is price actually runs in higher there, and then we get the distribution lower into this area here, okay? Now, what's the more likely thing to happen? Well, we don't know. Truth is, we literally do not know. We have the previous day low here, right, which is a nice clean draw. Previous day low here as well, right? So we can't really anticipate a lot. We just have to wait and see what happens when market opens, okay? Which is going to be right now, okay? So let's just see. Kind of interested in seeing what's going to happen. Okay. So this is the 930 candle. Let's mark that out. Candle. Okay. Now, what am I looking for? At this point, since we are already looking to be quite bearish, either we catch ourselves a continuation short into this area, right? Into these areas here, or we get a manipulation, we distribute higher, okay? Distribute higher into areas where? Well, it could be this gap here, okay? Let's have a look at the 4-hour. Do we have any wicks into this area? We don't have any wicks. Bearish order block, intermediate time high, okay? It's very possible that we do a whole bunch of things, right? So let's just kind of hop back into the 15-minute and just say that as market opens, we do trouble lower, okay? So New York AM opens and we instantly see a draw lower, okay? We see a draw lower. Previous day low gets taken on ES as of this second. And if we get an SMT on NQ, we could see a run into the IRL of those bearish gaps within that golden zone. Okay, so let's just kind of see what happens. Okay, we don't get an SMT. That's completely fine. But do we sweep it? Now, if we sweep it, I'm very, very, very interested in seeing some sort of reaction, right? So we're just waiting. Okay, so let's mark this out. We get a sweep of previous day's low, and now I will scale down into 1 minute and see if price offers evidence to distribute higher. Okay, so let's quickly just have a look. What happens? Well, we can see I'm sort of waiting on. Oh, we get an SMT. Is this an SMT? 932? No, we don't. We don't. Okay. So what am I really looking for? I'm kind of interested in seeing what price does now. So let's just kind of, if we get a, okay, we are very close to getting a SMT. So now let's kind of, okay, there we go. We get a nice little bearish candle close. So from here to here, right? Now, is there anything in this area? Nope. Is there anything in this area? Could this just be a decline retracing into the 5 minute gap and us move lower? Yes. Right, we see market do that a lot. Okay. Okay, we did not reach the golden rule there. I don't know, I'm saying golden rule, it's golden level one, but whatever. Just about tap into it here. Okay. Now, this is very likely to continue lower. Why? Well, because we have already been declining, right? Because we've already been declining, right? So Monday might be the high of the day, high of the week, sorry. So just kind of see what happens. Is there a 2 minute gap? No, we inverse this 2 minute gap. Okay, we tap into this 2 minute gap here. Anything on 1 minute? Nope. We seem to be kind of stagnating a little bit. Not providing the clearest bit of price action. Okay. Well, that was a very aggressive wick higher. And obviously the 10 a.m. candle has posed itself. So have a look at the 10 a.m. candle. Well, we have reached into this daily gap, haven't we? Yep. We haven't reached into the gap on thingy. I think right, if we do get a decline now, we can see lower prices. I think that's quite evident. Okay, well, now the tough part to look at here is let's actually check if we get an SMT first, which I think we do. Let's see buy side. This was 52, 10.05, 52, 10.05. Okay, so we do get an SMT. All right. Now at this point, if we get a retracement, then we can obviously catch along. So let's just kind of annotate that. So let's say if we get a retracement into this area where there is an SMT, I am happy to try catch a long into that golden area, right, of the bearish arrow, right? If not, we can easily be and patient and catch a short if it provides itself. Okay, so let's just quickly obviously go back to kind of looking at this, right? So we see these golden areas, right? Okay. Let's look at the hourly candles. I'm going to get now rid of this 4-hour gap, right? Because it's just a bit of noise. And we can see this gap is super likely to be reached into. Obviously, this is obviously said with exaggeration. I don't really know if it will. It might take London and move lower. It doesn't need to. It's up to the market now, really, isn't it? Yeah, we get an S&T. Okay. Now let us go into the 1 minute and sort of do this, right? So we're gonna from here to whenever the next candle close low is gonna be. Right here. There we go. Now, is there anything of importance? No. Could it be somewhere here? Okay, we're still nowhere near London. We make double tops. Okay, we make double tops. 5 minute, nothing really. Sweep, 5 minute change of state delivery. Okay. Now I think in terms of getting an entry here, I think this bullish gap is nice, right? Because we're obviously still in the discount. Can we refine it? Well, just by a little bit. Since it's that level, I don't really see price moving any lower than, yeah, so let's do 4278. Place price at the swing low, right, protecting the golden area. And what can our targets be? Well, be this area first. This area here, right? I think this area is quite suitable. Okay, so let's just mark out that this is our trade idea. So this is the trade idea. 5 minute SMT as well as CSD. We get on the 10 minute, obviously we get that we get bullish offshore shift and a gap within discount. Okay, I have placed SL at swing low where the golden zone is. If we are bullish, price will respect this area. Okay. EP is the 15-minute golden zone value gap. Okay, so let's just put an entry on and see how price plays out. Just gonna see what price does. There we go, we get tapped in. The price taps us in perfectly here. Let's mention price taps us in. Okay. I do want to see the high get broken above before we take any partials. We're getting close. There we go. So let's just do this. Swing high was broken. SL at break even and half position off. Okay. So let's do that. Bang, partial 50 close. Yeah, I'm actually gonna put it instead of at break even, I'm gonna just put it at the swing low for now. Okay. I'm gonna probably take maybe another position off here. Price. Just kind of zoom this out. Okay, there we go. That is super nice to see. That is really nice to see. Why? Well, remember this is an hourly gap, right? If we're displacing through, first of all, sorry, there's like a fucking bug. All right, never mind. Let's just annotate this. So, price has a volatile move higher away from higher into this 1 hour bearish gap. Okay, now I am taking another 50% of my position off and going to trail stop loss. Reason for this is because price could just tap into this area and then seek to begin aiming lower. Okay, so this could be like this could be the end of the retracement, right? The 50-minute doesn't necessarily need to be hit, does it? But yeah, let me just obviously do what I said. Take out 50 off. Nice. And now realistically, where is the check if there's a 5-minute intermediate? That's still the 5-minute intermediate. Is there a 3-minute or a 2-minute or a 1-minute? Say here. Yeah, that's fine. That's safe to put it here. And now our position is completely safe. Okay, and price taps into this gap. Okay, we have a 5-minute gap that price taps into. Okay, and there we go. That's exactly what price did. So price reaches stop loss at intermediate time low. Okay. All right. Well, that's completely fine. We can see that price obviously just taps into the Saudi gap. Yep, taps into the gap. Takes out London. We get an SMT at London, and now what can we expect? Well, price is likely to target lower. Okay, let's just see. Is it going to target lower, or is it just going to debate? Don't really know, do we? Okay, the SMT of London is now voided, right? No more of it. Did we get the breakdown lower? No, we actually chop, and we just about hit my area, right? We just about hit it. Wow, so this entire day was a chop, and I caught a decent trade on the chop. Wow. Price for the rest of the day remained within a range. Okay, so I think today, in terms of adaptability, it was really good. We saw the consolidation range low get taken out, and we had a nice clean draw on the fib tool. Price edged it and then declined from the hourly gap, which is fine because it was something I was prepared for. Now, in terms of today, it did not play out how I had anticipated. Okay, anticipated. This means that Wednesday could provide with a lot of volatility. Well, why? Well, realistically, what do we have happening here? Accumulation. manipulation, essentially, going to previous stays low. We distribute higher into these areas, okay? Once we're done with these areas, what can I expect? Well, maybe, given that we do get an SMT, right? We do get an SMT. We tap into this daily gap, which was made on the Friday the 2nd. This Friday the 2nd, okay? There is no gap here, right? This is the gap, okay? So we could have an SMT in terms of tapping into a region, which could cause for the further acceleration of higher prices into what? Into this high, okay? Could be into this high, okay? But yeah, in terms of following the strategy, I think it was follow to the book. Had a 15-minute, went into the 1 minute. Didn't really see anything super clean on the 1 minute, did we? This was like a bridge long trade, wasn't it? Yeah. To the point where we got stopped out, it was like right here, right? So let's actually just check how long the trade generally was. Okay, no, that's fine. I think an hour in is decent. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, maybe in terms of these levels, I could have it a little bit more. Oh my god, look at that. We tap in and we get the massive rally. That's insane, bro. But yeah, that was a good trade in terms. So let's talk about so risk management. Bueno. Trade rules followed. Trade strategy followed. Read on market, like I said, was not what I had expected. However, that's fine. There's a reason. There's multiple trading days in the week. Okay, so that's that. Let me just kind of annotate this, do that. Strategies, my model, right? Because I made it. High time from key level, yes. Liquidity sweep on the 15-minute, 5-minute, yes. SMT on the 5-minute, yes. The value gap, yes. Change the state of delivery, yes. And then do we get a market structure shift with displacement? Yes. All right. Everything ticks yes, right? So it's really good trade. Let's talk about positives. So we adapted really well. In terms of following bias, that's not really the higher time frame bias, yes. But in terms of what I was thinking intraday, no. So I'm gonna keep it at that because that's what the adaptability was for. For the strategy, good risk management, logical targets, and patience. Yes. Now, opportunities for growth. Stop loss placing, I think. Obviously this would have been a much higher RR if I don't know, put it here or here. Something like that, right? Would have been able to catch a little bit more of the move in terms of volume, but that's fine. Either way, I took positions off like right here. So it was still a 1 to 2. What else? That's that, I think. But yeah, that was a little bit of a shorter backtesting session. I hope you guys found it useful, and I will see you lots tomorrow. All right, bye bye.